don't waste words and don't waste time. Welcome to Fred Talks. Today I want to talk about how to start your sermon. The introduction. It often creates an expectation. People think, oh, this is going to be really interesting. You got my attention right away. Or you may have heard some sermons where maybe the speaker rambles a bit and is talking in abstractions, and it doesn't really grip your attention. It doesn't draw you in right away. And sometimes people will make a decision real quick. This is going to be worth my time and I'm going to really be engaged. Or they might say, I think this is going to be a little boring, maybe predictable. And so getting attention is really important early in the sermon. The first thing I want to say is, don't waste words and don't waste time. An engaging first sentence can be really helpful. It can really just, get people's attention. And when you're introducing a sermon, sometimes people use generalities. And generalities and abstractions don't engage our attention. Details and stories and painting a picture, that's what really engages our attention. Don't make the story too long, don't make it too short. It's got to have some color, it's got to have some detail, so that people can see the story in their mind. And then, of course, there's a critical transition sentence or two that says, now we're going to turn to God's Word, chapter 5 of a certain book, and that will orientate people toward the text. It's important that your introduction not be too long. I've heard sermons where the introductory material is 10, 15 minutes. Very much too long. 3-4 minutes is plenty. And then say, let's open God's Word. And one of the things you're trying to accomplish in an introduction is, yes, orientate people to God's Word. Yes, get their attention. And yes, number 3, build rapport with the audience, with those listening. And if they like you, they will listen to you. And this likability factor occurs when the speaker is telling stories, is transparent, not in a sense arrogant or bragging about themselves, but there's a bit of humility and a bit of transparency. There may be a humorous story, for example, just a personal anecdote from your own life, and this really engages people. And now they lean forward and say, I'm ready to hear the sermon, and a need has to be created. This is the final thing I want to say in the introduction. Above and beyond all things, you've got to create a need. And that means, why should I keep listening? Oh, I'm interested in this topic. Oh, this can help me in my relationship with God, in my practical outliving of my faith. And so the sermon introduction must surface a need. I use that word surface because the need is there, but it's kind of below the surface of our consciousness. The sermon introduction brings it to our awareness, and then people will lean in and say, I'm going to listen. A strong start to your sermon is absolutely critical.